Boom! What is up, duelists? Today I'm gonna show you the deck I played at Oasis Mexico. A little bit late, I gotta confess. But at first I didn't want to show it because I did not do as well as I wanted to do, but it got requested, so yeah, even with it being a bit late and with it not being that relevant because the format is gonna change a lot post Alliance Inside, I'm still going to show you the deck I played, which cards I use, and the thoughts and ideas behind it. Let's get right into it. I played Snake Eye, of course, the starters, then one for on Bowfire. That's like the good cards. That's like a semi good card, but I like to draw Oak. I even thought about playing two at one point, but it doesn't do. I mean, if you can hold this with all the rest of the deck being basically special summons, you can at the very end normal summon you almost always have a free send for this, and then it gets you into Snake Eye Ash, that gets to Poplar, and then you just start comboing. So maybe even the second one of these is another starter to the deck, but I have never loved playing more than one Oak because it just does not feel as good as these cards. And I mean, I did not really have consistency issues besides. Okay, honestly, I lost 2 rounds of day one, round 3 and round 8, if I'm not mistaken, due to breaking game 3, where I would have loved to have a Oak at least. And yeah, maybe you can actually add a second Oak for more consistency. But I gotta think about it a bit more, and also in general, I will think about what the deck does post Alliance Inside, how I can improve it, how I can adapt it to the new meta, and just yeah, how to make it still work. Um, the last 3 cards of the Snake Eye is of course Lambert Temple and the Snake Eye Bellstar. Maybe this card is cuttable. Maybe this card is actually cuttable. I mean, it is. It has gained a lot of value lately with this card, but honestly, I could see me cutting it because it is such a break, and I sometimes even side it out if I go second. Depends on what the matchup it is. But I just hate to draw this card. Everybody does. It got better with the new engine I added, the Millennium card, so you can place it from your hand and then technically special out if you have something in graveyard, but that does not come up if you're playing. You almost never have a fire monster in graveyard at that point. And if you do, then it means that you're already played, so you should already be ahead. And it does not matter anymore then. Then the next engine is the Azamina Sinful Spoil engine with this. From my last list, and I used at the French Open, I played 2 Develar. Now I only choose to play 1 Develar, 1 Deception, because honestly, I feel like you do not want to draw many of these. Sometimes if you draw this, it's fine, it's like an extender, but I even thought about cutting the entire engine, even though I do not want to cut it because I feel it's such a good engine. It gives you like such a early on negate that lets you play around hand traps and mainly nib. It forces out the charmies, and yeah, it's just very cool and interactive with the deck because this card can you can summon it with sending a free card that you have in a spell trap zone or like a field spell you don't use anymore. Especially because I'm playing 3 field spells in my deck right now. Yeah. One of the arguments of cutting it is, as you see, I do not play the Dramatic Chase anymore, which I did play at the French Open, mainly because I think you almost never just open a Snake Eye Ash and just have this line of playing. And yeah, even if one single hand trap stops you and then you kind of want to have other good cards in the deck, kind of want to have an extender rather than something in your deck that gives you access to the Bellstar engine. It is very cool to have, but also with the extra deck issues, because the extra deck got a lot tighter with how I am playing it right now. I decided to cut the Dramatic Chase, but I do play another target for Popular Post that you're gonna see. Then the third engine of the deck is the Cashier cards. That pretty much, yeah, I think it's solved. Maybe a second right side like I played it in the French Open, but in this deck I'm playing 42 cards already. which I am not big fan of in a deck where you have only a few very good starters. Yeah, I cut the second right sword for multiple reasons. One, to be lower cards. Two, because I'm playing terraforming and set rotation. That's supposed to be set rotation. I don't have it with me right now. Yeah, you have like terraforming set rotation to get you give yourself access to the Cashier cards or to any field spell you want in a deck. That's why I cut down on the field spells. Then another engine I cut down is Fiendsmith. Only playing these two cards anymore. So if you draw this card, it is actually a brick. Which, looking back to the tournament, I don't like. I would, of course, add Track Lurie again, because I drew this card a lot, actually, and not being able to do anything with it feels so weird, and yeah, just I don't know. I don't like it too much. I mean, sometimes it's cool if you have so many special summons in your deck, so you can just special summon something, then tribute summon this over it, and then go free and swift combo from there. But still, yeah, I think having these as extender as an extra push to force out hand traps if you draw this is very, very, very good. These two cards are just what's mandatory to make every, like this and Access to Moon into Desiree, which a sequence Desiree which equals a Promethean Princess and therefore brings you in your combos. And the main reason of why I chose to play it actually is because if you have these in your deck, it makes your Poplar a one card combo. You're gonna see the combos, or you can see the combos in the masterclass I have posted with United Gosus Academy, or you got United Gosus Metafy. Definitely check it out and see how to do it. Then the next engine I added new, also my last engine of the deck. They are actually probably the MVPs of the weekend. Was 3 Sangajin, 1 Golem, and 1 Value Temple. The Millennium cards, they add so much to the deck. They not only give you work so well with the Doom Dragon, they also provide you more starters, more consistency, more ways to beat Charmies. They play so well into boards, except for Detonator, of course. And they give you an early monster negate. So what you would do with these cards is, if you have one of these, every card does the same. That's the worst to draw, because then you need to have you end on just a rank 8. If you have any of these, you end on a rank 8 and an additional body. What you would do is, you have another way. If you have another way to combo already, you have like this and Poplar, this and Snake Ash or whatever, then you can actually do this at the very start of your combo, which is not only protecting you from hand traps like Nibiru or Ash on the Snake Ash Send or whatsoever, it also is an interruption in the opponent's turn. Because it has 2 materials, you can even do both. You can negate a hand trap in your turn and have negate in the opponent's turn, which is very, very strong. And I negated so many things, and like general monster negate that does not have to be on the field, like for Desiree, for example, is so strong right now, because if you banish a Malice name, this can stop the Malice name from coming back and give them follow-up as well. It takes it like completely out of the game. The other thing you can do with these cards, if you do not have any engine, you can go Zombie Vampire and try to hit something. I did it twice in the tournament. I hit a Snake Eye Ash once, and I hit, I think it was literally nothing for the second time. But in general, this card should be pretty good. Might actually be incuttable, because if you already have a lot of ways to get in your engine, especially if you add the second Oak, you might not need this card anymore because you have enough consistency. And you rather want to summon a monster negate that protects you than just be greedy and go Zombie Vampire. That's it for the engines. Non-engine, I played a very, very similar approach to what I played at the French Open. Still kept the draw in the main deck. Not only does this work very well against decks like Mermail, Mitsurugi, and Rizal, it also is very strong if you get Charmid. You can just draw yourself, so the opponent won't draw anymore for the Charmies. I think it's a bit better than Ash Blossom, because it's just more impact, or more higher impact against the opponent's deck than Ash Blossom is. But of course, when it comes to Charmies, then Ash Blossom is definitely better. So you might actually especially for the upcoming format, not want to play this anymore because Malice is going to get even more popular post Alliance Inside. And of course, we all know this card is not great against Malice. For the rest of the deck, I played just Board Breakers, the droplets, which I think are probably the best non-engine you can play this deck. Then I played 3 thrusts, 1 talents, 1 terraforming is a thrust target, and for the last card is a thrust target. I did not play Imperm anymore. For French Omen, I played Imperm. Now I played Black Outlaws, which is so much better. Setting this after you get Charmed or just Hand Trap, if you go first, is very strong because this is 2 interruptions itself. A very strong interruption in your opponent's turn as well as in your turn. And if you go second and play into a board, you can droplet, send it, or send it for a witch. Just immediately use it and make the opponent, or like, for example, against Detonator. This card is so strong against Detonator. If you play against, if you summon Black Witch, drop this, use Black Witch Shilling 1, you can just chain this immediately to make them only have 1 single pop of their Detonator. Of course, when you call Detonator. For many other scenarios, this card is very strong and it works as a board breaker going second, as well as I want to say a flock up or like a decent interruption if you go first, a strong interruption if you go first. The last card, the 42nd card, is Set Rotation, which as I said, I did not have with me. Definitely cuttable. I don't like using this card in this deck. I kind of got talked into it, also because I thought it's a format where some decks do use field spells, for example, Arisal with the Cross, or Cashier cards become more popular, especially in Malice, or especially in general the Malice field spell. You can set it and chain it in the opponent's turn to kind of use it as an interruption, but if you draw it going first, let's be honest, you most of the time use it to get access to your cards. But the problem with using it, you have these 3 field spells, and if you blindly open the deck, or if you blindly open, you do not want to give your opponent a cash card, because if they play cash, then you get punished a lot. So you have to give them the Video Temple and place yourself a Divine Temple, which can be searched of, or Temple or Pressure Planet, which can be this card can be searched of Poplar, so you don't really want to play you get this with the Set Rotation. And if you give them the Video Temple and you get yourself the Cash Planet, you cannot use this after it. So I don't like it. It kind of conflicts. I did not think it through. I gotta admit that. But looking back, I will definitely cut it. These 2 slots will probably be Tracked and Lurry, just to have a stronger engine in the deck. And in general, the argument of this card being searchable by Thrust is not viable in my opinion, because if you can Thrust, you can search for talents, for 1/1, for Tracked if you play it, or for Bonfire, and all of these cards do more than just the field spell. They don't get you into cash cards. That's like the only argument you really have. It is 42 cards for the main deck. The extra deck is pretty similar. I did play Princess, Nightmare Phoenix, Hida, IP, SP, Anima. You need it to make popular a 1-card combo. Can't cut it. And also in some scenarios it's cool. Then the Fiendsmith cards that require a lot of space in the extra deck, but it's the bare minimum you gotta play. 1 Doom Dragon. I would have wished I had more than 1 Doom Dragon. And looking forward, I will definitely play more than 1 because it is so important. Having 2 of these is so strong. Sometimes you can just summon 2 in 1 turn and make a rank 8 with just the 2 Doom Dragons. Then the 2 Examina cards in the extra deck and the 2 rank 8s. Like I said, you can probably cut the Zombie Vampire to add, I would say, most likely a Doom Dragon. But yeah, I'll definitely have to think it more through, what is important for or relevant for the next format. And I will, of course, update you guys. Then the side deck, the Lancias, of course, the Fualos, then the Breakers, Lightning Storm, Feather Duster. Then this card was pretty cool. I don't know if you actually need it. It could probably be a better side card. I did not figure out what yet. Maybe another extra deck cards, because extra deck is definitely a problem of your deck. So yeah, you can decide extra deck cards for certain matchups. For example, a dark would have been nice sometimes, or a Lina, just to play a bit better into boards. But this also was pretty strong. It is a searchable breaker, and it works with the Hollow Examiner. So you can search this of Poplar and then use Examiner to send it. If you hard open the Hollow, then you don't have a way to get it to the Sinful Spell cards. Then last, I did not play the normal floodgates anymore. I chose to play like the thrust floodgates. These two, they were very strong. I never used Sanctum, I think. But DDG was so good. I think it's probably one of the best floodgates if you go first. If you go first, you even have a mid board. You have this card set, you most likely win, because this card stops against the matchups you set it in almost an entire turn. I feel like it's such an unfair card, and yeah, if there's an unfair card, you probably want to play it. Then the Acerune and the Sealed Rabbit. If you go first against almost every matchup, or yeah, I would say every matchup you want to side these in. And for the last card, the Agave Dragon. Shout out to Patrick Homan, who told me, yeah, need this because it's a breaker deck and games will take a long time. I never summoned this card once. I never got into time. It was never relevant. But yeah, I was prepared, just in case. Still, probably could have been a better side card. So overall, I was happy with the deck, I would say. I lost to first Mitsurugi Rizal, where game 3 I had a very bad break. I think I opened like Cash Unicorn plus Bird plus Flamberge plus these two traps. I was not able to play, and I drew, I think I had Flamberge in my hand and I drew Snake at the Bellstar for turn, so still no play. They just powered through it because I stopped them one turn, but I could not stop them the second turn. Which is kind of unfortunate, but happens sometimes, I guess. And the second loss was to Blue Eyes. It was a similar scenario where I went second, did not have any breaker in my hand, and I have multiples of the same engine pieces, which makes it very hard to break a board. And that's the reason why I play that many engines, to have like one of each, or it doesn't have to be each engine, but like you play 5 different engines, and if you have one, or we don't count Fiendsmith in this exact deck list, so you have like 4 different engines, and if you draw like one of each of these engines, or like at least 3 engine cards, different engine cards, plus 1 or 2 breakers, maybe you have a dupe of 1 engine card, that's okay. But I think I had like 2 dupes, and yeah, I was just not able to play into the board. Lost, unfortunately. Still made day 2, round 10. I played against Fiendsmith Malice. That was a bit unfortunate as well. Definitely think I could have played it better. I lost to Nibiru 3 out of 3 games. This deck is, I would say, not weak into Nibiru if you have a way to play around it. If you only have one line of play, it is very hard to play into around Nibiru or play through Nibiru, unless you get to make this guy in the beginning of your combo, which I did. So I was able to play around Nibiru in the first game, game 1. I lost game 2 to half board plus 2 hand traps. He had Necroquip and 2 hand traps. Discarded 1 hand trap, drew into Nibiru, and yeah, just nipped everything I had on my board, and I just lost. And game 3, I honestly did not respect Nip, because I said to myself, either I'm gonna commit and potentially lose to the 3rd Nib in the 3 games, which the possibility for this to happen is very low. But if he does not have Nib, I guaranteed win. If he has Nib and I make a half board, and he plays a very strong engine deck, Fiendsmith Malice, he needs like 1 starter each, and I'm dead. I just can't play through it plus Nibiru. So I took the risk of him not having Nibiru and got punished because he had Nibiru. That was, yeah, where I dropped out of the tournament. Apart from that, I definitely have to make some changes for the upcoming format. Of course, I will keep you updated. I will, of course, update the masterclass, like I said, in United Gosus Metafy. And I will definitely also offer not only coaching in the United Gosus Academy. There is not one-to-one coaching in the United Academy. It's like more of a general coaching. You can play with us, test with us, show us your ideas you have. We can check your deck list, see if you see what you have. But if you wish a more specific coaching, a one-to-one coaching where I take time for yourself, it's just you. So it's just me being fully concentrated on what you're doing and get improve your game. You can text me on my socials or leave a comment down below. We can definitely figure something out. Apart from that, thank you for watching. I hope you guys liked it. As always, if you have any questions or any thing to add to my deck, let me know in the comments, and see you guys next time.